Welcome back to my stand-up channel. Back in July, I took a stand and called out the Prime Minister's lies in Parliament. I was punished by being temporarily suspended. This week, I have tabled an early day motion in the hope that Parliament can wrestle ownership of ministerial control from the Prime Minister. Early day motions, EDMs, are motions submitted for debate in the House of Commons for which no day has been fixed. By attracting the signatures of other MPs, they can be used to demonstrate the level of parliamentary support for a particular cause or point of view. It is against the Ministerial Code, the standards of conduct expected of ministers, to lie in Parliament. Ministers who knowingly do so are expected to offer their resignation to the PM. So many have asked, why haven't any ministers resigned? The answer? Because the person in charge of determining whether ministers have breached the ministerial code is the chief liar. Boris Johnson himself. The lack of consequences makes a mockery of our democracy. These rules were created at a time when the Prime Minister would rather fall on their sword than lie to the House. Now it appears to be an Olympic sport for our Prime Minister, and he has several gold medals. Instead of him facing repercussions for his untruths, I was the one punished for calling the Prime Minister a liar. It was scary. I didn't have my party behind me, it felt rather lonely, but I had had enough. Many have tried in subtle ways to show that ministers have misled the House, but it had little to no effect. Speaking truth to power in plain language, as I did, got the message across loud and clear. I have not given up the fight of trying to hold Boris Johnson to account. I will never give up trying. The country wants and expects our ministers and MPs to be truthful. Unlike Boris Johnson and many of his ministers, I don't want to break the House of Commons rules. I respect Parliament and I take my job seriously. But you know something is badly wrong with the system when calling out lies seems to receive a harsher punishment than the lies themselves. This truth-twisting government needs to be stopped. I was so thankful for the positive reaction I received after standing up to Johnson. I was forced to leave the chamber and Parliament, but I held my head high, with thousands of supportive messages. The response showed that many people across the country agree with me that it's unfair that Johnson continues to get away with his dishonesty. My early day motion, EDM, states that the Prime Minister should no longer be the guardian of the ministerial code, as he has shown a lack of morality to do so. It calls for the House of Commons to take over responsibility from Boris Johnson, which would mean that MPs would collectively decide whether alleged breaches should be investigated and determine whether ministers have broken the rules. This would be a big change to our political system, but one that I believe is sorely needed, as the status quo is eroding our democracy. It's a constructive way of keeping the integrity of Parliament regardless of who is in power. Think about it. Currently, the Prime Minister can commit an act of lying and then he can be the judge and jury of whether one of his ministers has lied to the House. It makes no sense. MPs on all sides of the House need to do what we were elected to do and hold this government and its ministers to account. The way to do this is to make the ministerial code the property of the House as a whole. I'm delighted to have cross-party support for my EDM. With 75 signatures from 8 different political parties after only a few days, it shows the strength of feeling there is among parliamentarians about the conduct of Boris Johnson. I hope there are many more signatures to come and I will keep building support so we can send a strong message to this government about the need for change and force a debate on this vital issue. But for that to happen, I need the help of readers. EDMs can be very effective if a lot of MPs sign it, as it indicates the strong view of the House. I would like to appeal to anyone reading this who supports my campaign, anyone who values our democracy, and anyone who wants to stop MPs blatantly lying. Please join my campaign by politely asking your local MP if they will sign my motion. There are some great petitions calling for lying in the House to be made a criminal offense. I have signed them. But as it'll be Boris making the law, we may not get that through. but I look forward to the debate. We need to save our democracy before it's too late. My early day motion is a solid step to doing just that. Source: metro.co.uk. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.